Hey everybody, thanks for watching The Great Green Room. My name is Julia. Today we're going to be looking at Mr. Crum's Potato Predicament, written by Renaud and illustrated by Felicita Sala. Mr. Crum's Potato Predicament is based on a true story, or at any rate based on a legend about a real person, Mr. George Crum, who owned a restaurant and is credited for inventing the potato chip. Whether or not he actually invented the potato chip is up for debate, but he certainly is responsible for popularizing what we know now as the potato chip. George Crum owns this restaurant. It's very popular. He's known as an excellent cook. And one day, this persnickety gentleman named Filbert P. Horsefeathers, some liberties have been taken with this legend if you couldn't tell, who comes in and orders just potatoes. Now, Filbert P. Horsefeathers has very particular tastes, so when George fixes the potatoes in his usual way, Filbert sends them back, saying they're too thick, they're too boring, he doesn't like them. So George cuts them thinner, he puts more salt on them, but still Filbert doesn't like them. He cuts them still thinner. He still complains that they're bland and boring. So finally, George is a little bit fed up. He decides to pull a prank on this persnickety customer. He apparently was well known for pulling some pranks, making fake menus and things like that. Apparently that was really true. George Crum did do that. So he cuts the potatoes super duper thin, fries them super crispy, and absolutely smothers them with salt. And what do you know? Filbert P. Horsefeathers absolutely loves them. He eats them up, and what do you know? All of the customers start demanding the same kind of potatoes, and George Crum becomes extremely popular and well known for these newfound potato chips. So, like I said, this is a true story. There's an interesting blurb in the back about George Crum, who was a real person, and his restaurant, which was a real place, in upstate New York, I believe, in the 1850s. The retelling is pretty fanciful. Obviously, there was no such person as Filbert P. Horsefeathers, but it really sort of like adds a lot of adds a little bit of silliness to the legend, which is already a good story. I like the illustrations. The illustrations went well with the story. I like the idea of this chef being like, well, I'll show you, and just trying to pull a prank on his customer who's being extremely difficult. All in all, I really did like this story, and my kids really liked the fact that it involved potato chips. They thought that was really fun and interesting. I'm going to give Mr. Crum's Potato Predicament a 4. If you see it at the library, go ahead and check it out. You may even look for it specifically. As always, I want to hear about the books that you've read, that you liked and that you didn't like. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.